Hello everyone and welcome back to God's Victory NIKKE. So, between last session and this session, there's been a little bit of time that has passed. For one, I more or less off screen did the previous event before the current one, new flavor. That last event was for rest, which pretty much involved the previous newly introduced NIKKE into the game, Trina, and I'll showcase what she looks like. So she was introduced in the previous event before the one that's currently ongoing, being for rest.
Trees may seem rough and unrefined, but they actually require a delicate touch. Can you hear the sounds of nature?
And then of course her shooting animations. When it came to Trina's kit, she effectively is more or less a NIKKE who's, with her abilities, she's a very helpful NIKKE to pair up with Scarlet. Not Scarlet Black Shadow, but more or less as some people refer to as original Scarlet. But supposedly her abilities make it to where Scarlet is like pretty good in terms of, well, more so good in terms of what her overall damage and capabilities are, but she's more or less someone who's like okay to have, but not necessary. More or less, it's like she's more or less more of a niche kind of character. And with this current event that started off a few days ago, we have the new flavor event, which also debuted pretty much the second NIKKE, and that is like Eleg, that character being Bready. Here's a peek at her burst animation. Yeah, Bready is a sniper character. Yeah, like I said, she's pretty much someone who's, well, she's pretty much effectively the second NIKKE in the game, who's effectively similar to Eleg. More or less someone who, more or less one of the characters who's plump in terms of their physique.
Delicious. Did you bring the food? Can I have some?
And of course her shooting pose. Yeah, by this point hard mode has unlocked for her event. And with Trina's banner, I did do at least, I believe, one multi, but didn't get her, but I instead got Viper. I scrolled down here, or no, not Viper, I got Jackal when I tried to pull for Trina. And aside from that, off screen, I, of course, boosted everyone's levels again, so now everyone's level 185. And what you'll also notice is that there's these little icons on their profile pics. That's because most of my NIKKEs, at least the ones I do use currently, I've actually equipped them with collection items. So for example, if we go to Rappy here, I equipped her with this SR collection item. And when it comes to maintaining them, you of course use these maintenance kits. There is an option to where you can actually skip the animation where if you didn't have that selected, you would then more or less touch and drag your finger or mouse cursor in my case across the collection item doll, and after doing so for a few seconds, then it would gain XP, and if it fills up the XP bar, it will potentially be a success or super success. If it's a super success, then the collection item will actually be boosted significantly in terms of levels. Like instead of getting to like level 1, it will instead jump to like level 5 or level 10, like I have it for characters like Cinderella and Rappy Red Hood. And aside from that, off screen, I also of course progressed more through the towers to get more gems. And I also I've been able to actually beat a few of the bosses for the intercession EX mode. And of course with that intercession mode, it actually cycles through bosses day by day. Those bosses in question being Modernia, Chatterbox, Blacksmith, Altyson, Gravedigger. I believe is all 5. But yeah, day by day, it pretty much cycles between them. And aside for getting some tier 9 equipment, which I do have equipped to most of my team, and I've equipped or increased to a certain level. Once I get more resources, I'll upgrade Cinderella's gear. But aside from that, there's other drops that you get for the EX interception. Aside from tier 8 and tier 9 gear, you also get these, the manufacturer arms crates. Now with these, once you get 200 of them, pretty much like the collector dolls or the commander dolls, you could then pretty much open these and you have a chance to get one of these particular sets, either any of the pieces for attacker, defender, or support at tier 9, but they'll be a random manufacturer. So aside from that, we're going to, well, with the there's also the full burst day going on at the time of this recording, but due to my available time frame, I'm gonna more or less just do the rest of the stuff for this off screen. And what I'm going to do is showcase pretty much the last 2 cutscenes for chapter 16, thereby of course unlocking access to the next chapter and also unlocking access to the rest of this. Because to do the rest of this event, I actually have to do the next part of the campaign story in order to do so. But after that, and then doing full burst, then we'll see about hopping into the side event, or else we'll tangent into the side event, into the event, new flavor, and I'll showcase the first cutscene possibly, and then we'll go through the rest of the event, and of course get the resources necessary to then get the recruit vouchers and whatnot, and then move on. And then, speaking of which, with the event, there was definitely some issues in terms of the update. So more or less, instead of initially being like for a few hours, the update ended going for pretty much an entire day because of issues. Like, it got an initial extension, then got extended again, and then again. So, as compensation, aside from the regular 300 gems, there was also a couple other compensation packages. So, and they should still be here in the mailbox. Well, they were, but I'll put them, but thankfully, I did record off screen. Yeah, thankfully I did record off screen of me getting the, more or less, the compensation packages. And part of this was essentially, well, with my gem count anyway, part of it was we got like 1,500 gems for pretty much the extended issues, because there was there's a couple features that got added with the update that brought Bready and her event. One of those being the champion arena, which, as far as I know, in terms of that, you had to be in the top 4, I believe, in the other arena, I believe, at least the special arena, and then you can actually compete in the champion arena. So more or less like a whale exclusive event. And aside from that, then there's also the fact that we got a couple other things in there, and one of those items, I believe, from that was these, the custom modules. Now, the custom modules are needed in order to actually overload the, well, yeah, they're kind of involved in overloading tier 9 gear, but I won't be able to use these until I get at least one piece of tier 9 gear to level 5. And then aside from that, there was also apparently a issue in terms of Brady's skill breakdown, or her overall toolkit. So it got more or less buffed and nerfed at the same time, but as a compensation, we not only got 1,800 gems in that bundle, but we also got 5 advanced recruit vouchers, and a couple other things. Okay, so go figure that in the midst of trying to record things, OBS had to go and glitch on me again. But anywho, back to the main campaign. Last time where we left off, we more or less got backstabbed, metaphorically backstabbed, by Crow, Viper, and Jackal. And last thing that we know about about that particular chapter is that Crow did more or less like a little maneuver to allow her to actually shoot and injure us, the commander, prior to them pretty much ditching us and leaving us for dead. So we're heading to the missiles headquarters to see what's up. Hopefully Steven gets punishment. Okay, why the hell is she abusing Uni?
Why? A few days ago, they were praising Miss Liz to the heavens. Now they're changing your tune just because some attention whore spread a few rumors?
Technically speaking, it wasn't rumors.
Exactly. Ain't exactly rumors when it's fact.
Nothing John Doe said was a lie.
Shut up. If I say it was rumors, it was rumors.
Well, congrats, Suen, you're wrong.
Now then, have you found out John Doe's identity?
No, not yet.
They were a former researcher at our company. How hard could it be?
Well, it's just that John Doe's IP is distributed over a wide area. It couldn't possibly be a single person. None of the addresses match up to any former Bacillus researchers either.
And that is supposed to mean something?
It does, very much so. Almost all retired researchers wind down the rest of their days in luxury on Royal Road. However, John Doe's IP all can be traced back to the Outer Rim.
The Outer Rim, huh? AKA the place where Crow, Viper, and Jackal tend to hang out.
What? The Outer Rim? Something smells fishy here. Bring Exotic over here this instant! They run the Outer Rim. If anyone knows anything, it'll be them.
Why do I get this suspicion that that Crow, Jackal, and Viper has secretly been essentially double-crossing Suen behind her back? Knowing Crow, she probably would do that. So it wouldn't surprise me if she was.
Yeah. They are not within range of radio waves.
What do you mean?
Communications are far from ideal in the Outer Rim. It's fairly common.
I don't need excuses. Track their recognition chips.
Yeah. External GPS located. They are on the surface.
What are they doing up there? Wait a moment. Nikke's can't go to the surface unless it's part of an operation. They are the only command in operation right now. Perhaps they've lumped themselves in with the commander. And what have the scouts been doing all this time? I made it very clear to report any unusual activities.
To date, we have received 0 reports from them. We've attempted to get in contact with them, but communications seem to be down.
Whenever we get involved with those damned rust buckets, nothing goes smoothly!
Uni, are you okay? You and I are different. I know your interests lie elsewhere. How about you go and conduct some maintenance?
Maintenance at a time like this? You've got some nerve.
I apologize. I do not recall maintenance being forbidden.
Ha. That's right. It's been a while since your memory was wiped. This is why I'm doing everything I can to preserve Matisse's memories. I don't want them becoming dimwits like her. The least you could do is outsmart that rust bucket Rapine? Whatever her name is.
Hey, listen here, bitch. You put respect on Rappy's name. Otherwise, you pretty much deserve another kick in the ribs.
But Uni...
I'm okay, Mihara. Everything is okay.
Yeah, she says that. I think otherwise. Soon after.
Ta-da! Nice job! We've really got Suen fuming now! We've even taken care of Wonder Boy. Bit of a waste, though. Anyway, we've created a perfect alibi for John Doe. It's all going perfectly!
Exactly. Heavenly Ascension played the John Doe role with aplomb. Quite the thespians they are. Thanks to them, people have become more and more suspicious of Bacillus.
It's all about to set off! All we've gotta do is light the fuse. And kaboom! Let the fireworks begin! Sayonara, Ark! Oh man, I'm getting too excited! Huh? Captain, what's with the long face? You excited about what's going to happen too? Or is something else on your mind?
That person should be dead.
Oh, that. Do you think so?
Give me a straight answer. Are they dead?
Of course. No doubt about it. We shot him and left him for dead. Barring some kind of miracle, they should be arriving at the pearly gates right about now.
The hell?
Captain! At least warn me before playing with your gun!
Do you really think that? They are truly dead?
That's what I said! Ah, help me!
Viper, what do you think?
Although I can't say why, I think he's still alive. You saw when we did background research. They have gone on several missions with a 0% survival rate and lived to tell the tale. What's to say it won't happen again this time?
Very perceptive of you, Viper. It wouldn't be any fun if they died so easily. Then we'd be denied the thrill of a rematch. Someone like them will hold on to their dreams until their dying breath. Killing them in their greatest moment of despair. That would be sublime. Don't you agree, Viper?
Yeah, again, Crow is pretty much a psychopath.
That's right. Just imagining it. How exciting.
It will be quite a fascinating sight to behold, I'm sure. At one point, my greatest pleasure was blowing up passenger trains. But not anymore. I need more. Perhaps it's because my body has become a machine. If so, then this is all karma for Suyun.
Yes. That's why Suyun is our first target, right?
Again, very perceptive. Also, very resourceful. You're clever enough to carry out a plan like this while up on the surface. Ambition flows within your veins. You're like a serpent ready to strike at any moment. I'll have to keep a close eye on you.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that we can't really trust either of them. But with that, that pretty much unlocks access to Chapter 17. But we're gonna more or less. But what I'm gonna do now is try and finish off the rest of Full Boomsday from Shaw's screen, and afterwards then we'll hop back in and we'll see about potentially I'll probably potentially do the new flavor event, and then we'll resume with the campaign. So I'll see you in a moment.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right, and I'm back. So, a slight confession to make. By the time I'm getting back to recording for the new flavor event here, a little bit of time has passed on by. So, I got a little over 2 days left for the current event. But aside from that, I also did some more grinding off screen in the towers, as well as actually even hard mode in the campaign. So, if we go up here, for example, yeah, so far I originally was stuck in hard mode chapter 4, and I was specifically at the final boss of hard mode chapter 4. So I went in with the team I had initially set up, beat the boss, and then after 2 more stages in chapter 5, I decided, I wonder what would happen. I wonder how my team without the temporary participation NIKKEs would actually do. So I decided to use one of my current go-to teams, consisting of the bunny twins, Rappy Red Hood, Crown, and Cinderella. And yeah, even with my overall combat power being less than the current stage recommended, I was able to beat stage after stage after stage after stage, even EX battles as well. Like, true, I would lose like a member or two of my team, but even still, I was able to actually progress enough to where I could actually get to where I am currently in hard mode chapter 4, or in hard mode of the campaign, which is a 7.5 for now. And also, whilst I did so, I also grabbed some more of the lost relics for those stages, which pretty much were all music tracks. So speaking of which, if I go to the jukebox here, I should have some rewards to claim. There we go. Got 150 gems there. And I believe most of the tracks I was completing for, or let's see. Okay, yeah. So I completed the rest of Wonderland, which I believe one of the, yeah, two of the last tracks I got from here was Stronghold and Land Eater, as well as Entertainment, pretty much Mustang song. So yeah, we have that now in our collection. And I started collecting more of the next album, being White Snow, which I believe the rest of these should be available in the hard mode of the next of chapter 7 I'm doing. But we'll worry about that later. And aside from that, I of course progressed more through the towers for what I could. And also in terms of my team, everyone is now at level 190. And you know how I did make mention of the collection items? Well, off screen a little while ago, I actually used those collection items I had in my inventory, where one of them was a selector and then the other was basically a random, and it would give me like basically an SR of either ones I selected or the ones that would just be random. And with the selector, I got an MG one for Rappy Red Hood, of course, and I also grabbed a sniper super rare collection item to give to Alice, because I did have one already in my inventory, but I want to save that one for Helm because I need an SR collection item specifically for her to max out after, of course, getting her MLB'd, so that I can then get her favorite item. So there's that, but also I needed to equip a collection item to Alice so that way I could actually fulfill more missions for the Alice Diary. And as you can kind of tell by the little heart collection item icons below their burst icon, if it's purple, it is an SR, and if it's blue, it's a rare. So most of the NIKKEs I've currently been using have a collection item, and only a few of them have a collection level of 10 thus far. The max is 15, which is where I need to get Helm's collection item, so then it can be transformed into her favorite item. And then of course that favorite item will have its own specific type of maintenance kits, which I believe, yeah, here we go. I believe in that set, yeah, this set of miscellaneous boxes was updated to have the new maintenance items for the newer favorite items, specifically the ones for Milk Drake, Helm, and who was the last one? Miranda, that's right. Yeah, Milk Drake, Helm, and Miranda. And I do technically have more of these manufacturer arm crates, which I haven't opened yet because, well, I'm kind of hesitant to open them for the moment. But anywho, aside from that, I do have another Pilgrim mold available to actually open, because I mentioned doing enough floors in the Pilgrim Tower, but I'm gonna hold on to those molds until I do pretty much like the next big opening session, which potentially may happen during the 2.5 anniversary. But yeah, so far I'm at stage 132 in the Tribal Tower, and then for the others, I'm at 127 for Elysian, 125 for Mistless, 123 for Tetra, and 115 for the Pilgrim / Overspec. And speaking of Alice Diary, pretty much the only missions left I have for here is getting her Burst 1 or her skill 1 and her burst to first level 7 and then level 10. And then for this one, I have to modify the tier 9 manufacturer equipment that Alice is equipped with. So most likely, it would have to be a tier 9 missless, it would have to be a tier 9 equipment piece equipped to her first. Then I would have to potentially max it out, then modify it. But we've done enough objectives to where we can actually claim these 20 recruit vouchers. So might as well claim those. Nice. And we have an even 60 of those in our inventory. So we can do 6 multis if we so choose. But again, we're gonna probably win on that until later. And also, in terms of banners, Brady's is still active, and then coming soon at the time of the recording is going to be Crust's banner, this character here. And then aside from their banners, I may potentially skip them because they're going to get added to Ordinary Recruit anyway, and just more or less save up my gems for pretty much the upcoming 2.5 anniversary banner, which pretty much most people are speculating that it's going to be Siren, because it was hinted at kind of in I believe the teaser for the current campaign chapters, being chapters 34 and 35, I believe. Pretty much in the latest campaign chapters with the teaser, it was kind of teased that Siren was potentially alive somewhere. But pretty much aside from that, I mean, if in theory, if Siren survived the fall from the transport that was from the lift after the attack from the Queen, then in theory, Hansel and Gretel are still alive too, which is good news. But unfortunately, I have no idea if Shift Up are going to actually add the pair of them as playable characters in the game, or if they're going to be potentially stuck in NPC jam. But might as well show off the first cutscene for Strange Taste. Welcome. How many are in your party? Just one. Alright, I'll guide you to a single table. What would you like to order? I'll have whatever is the most popular. We have a special dish on offer this month. Would you like us to prepare that for you? Sure. Very well. We'll have that ready for you in just a moment. Here you are. Enjoy. Ah, so it's supposed to be tenderloin. Imitation beef tenderloin made out of splendomin. Asparagus, potatoes, mushrooms, and bell peppers as sides. Let's see how it is. I can't taste anything. I don't understand. What's going on with me? So yeah, Bready has a unique trait to where she can actually taste the ingredients that are in a recipe, or she can pretty much tell what ingredients have been used in a recipe just by taste. How can you serve this to your customers? The flavor is completely off. Our sincerest apologies, ma'am. We'll prepare another dish for you right away. Are you sure this hasn't gone bad? Food simply shouldn't taste like this. I'll confirm with the kitchen and get back to you. Before you do that, just try some yourself. Everyone seems to have a problem with the flavor. This isn't good. And yeah, I do believe they're part of pretty much the same squad, which I want to say is called the Cooking Oil Squad, if I'm correct. Let's double check Brady's description. Yeah, part of the Cooking Oil Squad. Yeah, it primarily shows her, but it's already been showed that we are getting Crust in the upcoming banner, and in this more or less this animation, or more or less that gameplay shown of her in combat, you do see Crust over to the right hand side. So She is coming to the game, but she may potentially come to the game after Bready's banner ends. But regardless, I'll probably just be saving up my gems for pretty much the 2.5 anniversary, so that way I have more of a chance to potentially get the pretty much the rate of character that's going to be at that time, which most likely, as far as we know, is going to be Siren. And also, I also preemptively assembled a team for this, consisting of Query, Milk, Rappy Red Hood, Regular Rappy, and Anise. Even though not everyone is boosted up because they're not on the synchro device, we should still be able to clear through these levels pretty quick. Commander, may I come in? Sure, come on in. Sorry for disturbing you so early in the morning. But have you eaten yet? No, I just woke up. Good. For the time being, please refrain from going to the dining hall or purchasing any food elsewhere. Stick to these instead. Are those common rations? Yes. I prepared them in advance for whenever we're out on a mission. Why is it so important that we have these instead of regular food? We don't know exactly what's going on. But last night, reports began coming in about food in the Ark tasting unusual. Huh. So it spread out in the entire Ark, not just the one restaurant. It started with restaurants and household meals. But earlier this morning, even pre-packaged snacks and treats have apparently developed an odd flavor to them. Huh. That's weird. Maybe someone's doing something to mess with people's sense of taste? Or messing with the food itself. I tasted some myself, and the taste indeed was quite peculiar, unlike anything I had experienced before. That's why, just to be safe, I'm recommending you to stick to common rations for now. What in the world? Cooking Oil is on their way to investigate further. Cooking Oil? You mean the squad? Hello? Is this the commander's room? If it is, may we come in? I'm Crust from Cooking Oil. I glance at Rabbi, who gives me an affirming nod. Come in. Yeah, now we get an actual preview of Crust's character model. Oddly enough, the two giant strawberries on her hat pretty much represent bunny ears, kind of like the little charm thing in her hair. Oh boy, this is really nerve-wracking. Hello, Commander. It's an honor to finally meet you in person. I'm Crust, the squad leader and head chef. She's the squad leader? Huh. I could have sworn Bready was the leader. Nice to meet you. Though, to be fair, that's, I kind of suspected Bready was the leader because Bready was technically the first character of their squad introduced. So, I just kind of suspected that she was the leader instead of Crust. Kind of almost like a similar vibe to, when it comes to Cocoa, who is the leader of, Made for You, even though she looks like she wouldn't be the leader, and you'd think Aid would be the leader, for example. Hi, I'm Bready, the taster. Pleased to meet you. Nice to meet you both. But what's this all about? Has no one briefed you yet? We're here to investigate why all the food has started tasting funny. We, including you, have to conduct an inquiry and come up with a solution. Wait, why am I included in this? We were told to go and rendezvous with you, Commander. And so, to that end, we'd like to ask you to try this food. Crust and Bready pull out a large lunchbox and place it on the desk. These are dishes that Crust made. Give them a taste. Is all I have to do? Yep. And they'll be delicious too. Wasn't she just saying how all the food has been tasting strange lately? I glanced at the lunchbox apprehensively. How much did you put in this thing? I figured that since it was our first time meeting each other, it'd be nice to let you try a variety of different dishes. I think it may have gone overboard and made too much. I see. Well, may I? Help yourself. I reach for a small helping that appears to be an appetizer. Very nice. I see that you know which order to eat everything in. The scallops, truffles, and tuna are finger foods, so no need for utensils. You can pick them up with your hands. Enjoy. Alright. I pick up the scallop on the left with one hand and pop it into my mouth. The flavor, it's what? Of course, going to be a kind of cliffhanger leading to the first battle.
Enemy aircraft confirmed. Reload.
Speaking of battles, fun fact, off screen I actually did a little bit of math to figure out basically how much battle data, credits, and core dust I would need to upgrade my squads, or pretty much my roster. And when I did a comparison for my team at like level 180, well, yeah, I'll probably explain in a moment, but essentially I calculated that I would need like a little almost 9 million credits, 108 million battle data, and 8,000 core dust, and effectively for all 5 of my MLB SSR NIKKEs, I would need effectively 40 million credits, 540 million battle data, and 40,000 core dust. But I increased everyone to level 190, so I'm going to need a little less this time around. I think when I last calculated it, I'm going to need like 420 million in order to increase everyone to level 200, but I'd have to double check to be sure. What do you think? Isn't it scrumptious? Scrumptious. Doesn't even begin to describe this scallop. It's better than scrumptious. The scallops are perfectly seared. The tangy lemon sauce enhances the freshness, and the crispy coconut adds a sweet crunch. Everything blends together in a harmonious symphony for the taste buds. It's absolutely divine. Oh my goodness. Divine? What does he mean by that, Crust? That's a term you use to describe the absolute pinnacle of flavor. When something tastes so extraordinary that it transcends the limits of ordinary language. Oh. To receive such a effusive praise from the commander, and we've only just met. I can see that you're someone with a true love for food. Alright, it's decided then. You've made me feel special, and so I'll do the same for you. From now on, I shall call you Mr. Gourmand. Or Mr. Gourmand. Mr. Gourmand? Yes, Mr. Gourmand. That compliment you gave me a moment ago is the best I've ever received. There's still plenty of food left, so have at it. I certainly will. I'm so happy. Crust. It's great that the commander is enjoying the food as much as he is. But don't you have another lunchbox to share with him? Oh, right. I almost forgot. Before you finish all that food in front of you, be sure to try some of what's in here as well. Huh? Another lunchbox? This one's a bit different. Please give it a taste and let me know what you think. Alright. The second lunchbox is also filled with dishes that look mouth-wateringly delectable. I'll start with this one. Aha! Okay. I get it. So one lunchbox contained food that was made by Bready and Crust, and the other contains essentially food that was messed with and essentially is what everyone else is experiencing, given this reaction. This tastes nothing like it looks. It's utterly vile. Are you okay, Commander? You can spit it out. That's probably one of the bad dishes. Ugh. I say that confirms it. Ugh. Confirms what? The taste of the food around here has definitely changed. To be more specific, any Splendid-based dishes that were manufactured this month are what seem to have been affected. So could the source of the cause maybe be the Splendiman? The first lunchbox was made with ingredients delivered prior to this month. The second used ingredients that were delivered today. Why has the taste suddenly changed? We're not entirely sure yet. But considering this involves the Ark's food supply, it's imperative that we figure it out, and soon. Alright. Now that we've identified the issue, it's time to find a solution. And how are you going to do that? By using any and all means available to us. We'll issue a recall on the affected items and raise awareness as to what's happening. Restaurants and supermarkets keep detailed records of manufacturing dates and suppliers, so it should be relatively easy for them to recall their stock. It'll be much harder with ordinary households, however. Even more so here in the outpost. That's why we came here to personally check on the ingredients being used by the NIKKEs. We'd appreciate any assistance you can give us in that regard. Sure, I'd be happy to help. I'll go inform the others to be cautious about what they eat. Not everyone may have heard the news yet. Thanks, Rappy. Rappy, when you're filling them in on the situation, be sure not to go into too much detail. Why? It could cause unnecessary panic. Understood. Alright, let's head out.
Initiating engagement sequence.
But yeah, when it comes to clearing through hard mode, or the hard mode campaign, I was able to actually get my outpost defense level to, I believe, level 100 now. Which definitely is going to be a significant increase. And honestly, the higher I get that outpost defense, not only will it give me more gems through each of the level ups, but I can get other resources too. Oh no. Okay, whatever you do, do not let Emma cook. Heck, Emma could be responsible for what's going on. Oh, Commander, welcome. And you must be Crust, the host of Crunchy Cooking Class? Or host of Crunchy Cooking Class. You're familiar with my show? Of course. I watch it every time I cook. I'm so honored. She watches it every time she cooks, yet Emma is a terrible cook. How does that make sense, I'm Crust from Cooking On Squad, and this is Bready. Nice to meet you. I'm Emma. So, what brings you here so suddenly? Emma, I heard that you enjoy cooking. That's right. If you prepared any dishes, could we try them? We're testing out a hypothesis. Of course. I've made plenty. Would you like a bite too, Commander? I've already eaten a lot, so I'm fine. Oh, I see. Then I'll guess it'll be just Crust and Bready. Wait just a moment, and I'll go get some for you. Mr. Command, you didn't eat all that much earlier. Are you feeling okay? Yeah, I, have a small appetite, that's all. Oh, I see. I'll be sure to adjust the proportion sizes for your meals in the future. Something smells off. I can't even begin to surmise what that dish is supposed to be. It must have been made with the compromised ingredients. We'll know for sure once we taste it. Uh-oh. Sorry to keep you waiting. Here you are. I followed one of Krust's broadcasts to make this, so it's a bit embarrassing. You made this on one of your shows before, Krust? Uh-oh. Judging by the shocked expressions, I'm thinking it's not the same thing. This is incredible. But what exactly is it? It's supposed to be tomato soup. You made it on a special episode focused on tomatoes. I followed the recipe that you gave, or tried to at least. Uh-oh. I see. Why is it black? Oh no. Okay, the only thing I could think of for causing tomato soup to look that way is either not the proper ingredients or maybe bad tomatoes. Because, yeah, tomato soup is supposed to be red because of the tomatoes, not black like as if it's sludge. Are you sure none of your ingredients were expired? Oh no, that's impossible. I always buy fresh ingredients when I'm cooking. I see. It's completely unrecognizable. I can't distinguish a single ingredient from looking at it, and that's a first. Oh no. Not only that, if it was made with newly purchased ingredients, it's highly likely that they're amongst the affected batch. Tread carefully, Bready. Got it. Alright, here I go. Oh, but before I do, could you excuse me for a moment? Hmm? Hmm? Thank you. Now onto the soup. Did Bready lick Emma by chance? It's like, what did she lick with, given the context? Uh-oh. Ready? Hold on. Let me take one more spoonful. You used a lot of ingredients, didn't you? I sure did. Tomatoes, onions, minced garlic. Oh, I'm sorry. What? Chocolate, herring, miso, oranges, eggs, beans, vinegar, tofu, hot sauce. These are not things that belong in tomato soup. These are not what you put in tomato soup. This is a freaking mishmash gumbo that I'm pretty sure that not even Scooby and Shaggy would eat. Like, good lord. Like, chocolate definitely doesn't belong. Herring as well. So you got chocolate and fish in there. Not to mention things like fruit and freaking vinegar and hot sauce. Like, this is a freaking mishmash of ingredients that just does not mix at all. Just flat out doesn't even belong together. And heck, miso, that's borderline a soup type in itself. It's like, oh god. Yeah, this is pretty much another example why Emma is a terrible cook. and why you shouldn't allow her to cook, period. And then some... Oh no, wait. Didn't you say that you followed the recipe from my cooking show? How come there are so many extra ingredients tossed in? The more tasty ingredients, the better, right? Not in this context, Emma. Not in this context. True, you could add more ingredients to the soup, but the thing is, these ingredients have to actually mesh well together, otherwise you ruin the flavor. There's certain flavors that blend well together and some that don't. Like, you're borderline doing the equivalent of trying to mix oil and water, and that just does not work. And by that I mean car oil, not cooking oil. I mean, like say, chocolate and vanilla, that's fine. That's actually an ideal mix. Chocolate and hot sauce, however, no. Perhaps I should add a disclaimer on this show to only use the ingredients that I mentioned. I'd say so. So, Bready, what's the verdict? Overall, I can tell that Emma has a genuine passion for cooking. Her food is made with so much love. There's a sense of joyful innocence to it, as if a child made it. It's also truly impressive that you were able to combine so many different ingredients into one dish. Well, at least she's being nice about it. Thank you. Uh-oh. First comes the butterer, then the hatchet. I also can't taste a single thing. Uh-oh. So just like the food with the restaurant. So even though there's all those ingredients added in, she still can't taste the actual flavor.
Engaging the enemy.
Also, you probably have noticed by now, but the screen doesn't shake so much anymore when it comes while my team is firing their weapons. That's because I went into the settings and disabled the screen shaking. So that way it doesn't really throw off the visuals. Plus, you can actually get a better look at and more or less the very, very desirable physics. You can't taste anything? What do you mean? Exactly what I said. I can't taste anything. Do you think there's something wrong with your taste buds? I doubt that. Huh? What do you mean? Why don't you try some of Emma's food for yourself? Alright. I will. Yep, that face kind of says it all. All finished, Emma. Ugh. Wow, such a clean plate. I'm glad to see you enjoyed it. Anyway, we believe there may be ingredients in circulation that are making food taste strange. I think that may be why your food tastes like it does. Nah, her food kind of tasted that way before everything that's been going on. If you buy any Splenderman-based ingredients that were produced this month, please dispose of them all. Oh my, really? Can I keep using the ingredients that I bought before that? Yes. Until what date? That's what we're still unsure about. We're working on recalling the compromised ingredients, so the issue should be resolved soon. We'll let you know as soon as things return to normal. We only ask for your patience. Alright, I understand. To be honest, I didn't notice anything particularly strange about my food. But I suppose all this stuff we were saying would explain why you reacted so negatively to it. Yeah, that's it. Well, thank you for coming all this way to let me know. I'll go through my pantry and discard anything that's from this month. And I'm looking forward to the next episode of your show, Crust. Thank you for your cooperation. Take care. Are you feeling okay, Crust? Yeah, of course. Most likely she was upchucking the food that she just ate. You really shouldn't force yourself to finish everything. You know I don't like leaving food uneaten. Anyway, you said you couldn't taste anything? Nothing at all. I did detect something. It was unlike any other flavor I'd experienced before. And I don't think it had anything to do with the current ingredient situation. Maybe the flavor was so unique that it completely overwhelmed your taste buds? That's how it tasted to me, at least. I'm not sure if that explains it. Em's cooking is pretty extreme. You got that right. That's why I've got to work harder than ever to improve my show. I'll be sure to remind viewers to use only the ingredients I mentioned. That's a good idea. Yeah, maybe that's it. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with my sense of taste. Yeah. I meant to ask you, Bready, why did you lick Emma? So I was right, she did lick Emma! Oh, that? I was tasting her. Come again? Every NIKKE has their own unique flavor. I tasted her to determine if she intended on making food which would cause us harm. You would tell all that just by tasting someone? Yes. Isn't she amazing? Bready has incredible abilities when it comes to tasting. Like what exactly? Well, nothing too grand. It's just that when I eat something, I can immediately identify everything about it. What ingredients were used, what flavor it has, the nutritional information, and precisely how it was made. Things like that. That's incredible. You think so? Bready will eat rare dishes from the surface to analyze them, and I use that data to recreate the flavors in my cooking. That's one of our main undertakings at Cooking Oil. Very impressive. Thanks. Alright, let's head to the next place. Where to this time... First off, let's take a moment to settle our stomachs. Yeah. Yeah, kinda need to get over the trauma of Emma's cooking.
Everything in front of us are raptures, right? Loading. Was it this way?
And yeah, as for the April Fool's event, I didn't see about recording the cutscenes for the event, but after the event was over, I got a special background themed around pretty much the joke character of the event being Mecha Shifty, and I also got a special skill animation cutscene for the lobby being Mecha Shifty's burst animation. Feeling better? Yeah, I'm ready to ring now. Let's head to the next location. Wouldn't it be easier to make an announcement about something this important? Why are the two of you running around doing this yourselves? Well, you see, we have to keep a tight lid on this. If we officially declare there's something wrong with the Splendiman, it'd cause a massive panic in the Ark. So, we're buying ourselves some time by saying it's all still under investigation. That's why I told Emma that everything was under control earlier. Then why are you telling me everything? So we can drag you into this along with us. No, that's not it. We were told you were someone we could trust. And since you're helping us, we thought you should at least know the reason behind it. I see. Thanks. Anyway, time is short, so we should get a move on. Sure thing. This must be the place. Let's head inside. Okay. After you, Mr. Command. Oh, we're at the maid cafe. Welcome back, Master. And ladies. Wow. So this is the legendary maid cafe that I've heard so much about. It's so sparkly. I'm Aid at your service. Would it be alright to ask you for your names, ladies? Oh, I'm Crust. Bready. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Crust and Miss Bready. Please, have a seat. Oh, thank you. Was the trip here tiring? No, not at all. Is something bothering you, Miss Bready? Oh, no. It's just that I'm not used to any of this. Then I'll do my best to help you get comfortable. Thanks. So, what would you like to order? What's good here, Mr. Command? You can't go wrong with omurice. Omurice? Sounds delicious. We offer special house omurice that you can only get here at our cafe. Would you like three of those? Yes, please. Aid gives a polite bow and heads into the kitchen. This is kind of exciting. It is. I wonder what Aid will taste like. Oh god, not again. What? Huh? Nothing. No, not nothing. You were gonna taste Aid. A few moments later. Here, 3 plates of omurice. Now, before you eat, you have to say the magic spell together. Magic spell? What's that? First, you make a heart shape with your hands. Stretch them toward the omurice and chant, "Ooey gooey goodness. Make this omurice delicious." Ooey gooey goodness, make this omurice delicious. Perfectly done, Master, as always. Next, Miss Crust. Ooey gooey goodness, make this omurice delicious. Well done. Finally, Miss Bready. Ooey gooey goodness, make this omurice delicious. If you say it too softly, the spell won't work. How about singing it a little louder? Do we really have to do this? It's not like it'll actually affect the flavor. Oh no, this omurice will truly become more delicious after the spell is cast. The only way you'll know if the spell works is by doing it. Could you give me your hand for a moment, Aid? Of course, miss. Good grief. There she goes licking again. You really are a maid. And your desire for this rice to receive a magic blessing is genuine. Of course. Very well, I'll give it a shot. Ooey gooey goodness. Make this rice delicious. That was wonderful, wonderfully done. Now, enjoy your meal, everyone. Oh boy. This looks like it'll actually taste good, unlike before. Let's eat. Thanks for the meal.
Time to turn it up to 11!
Yeah, speaking of age, there is something I want to show off real quick after this battle. Something I kind of neglected to show off earlier.
Another victory for us, thanks to me!
Uh-oh. Yep, same problem as before. Yep. So even the rice at the maid cafe is affected. Yeah, this tastes horrible. It's identical to what I ate in the second lunchbox Crust gave me. It's not even that the food seems spoiled, but the flavor is somehow indescribably bizarre. Ugh. Oh my goodness. Are you alright? Is there anything wrong with the rice? It tastes a bit weird. Ugh. When did you buy the ingredients you used for this rice? We use many ingredients that we purchased at different times, but the main ingredient, the eggs, were bought 2 days ago. I knew it. There are some bad ingredients going around now that are negatively affecting the flavor of foods. We've issued a recall, so you'll have to discard all the ingredients you've purchased this month. Oh, that means most of the ingredients are unusable. Will any ingredients we buy later also have issues? It's hard to say. The higher-ups said they're taking serious steps to resolve the issue, so things should be better quite soon. I see. This is a real inconvenience. We'll probably have to close the cafe for a while. May I ask how this happened? You can ask, but I won't be able to give you an answer. We're as mystified as you are. I see. This must be a difficult job for you all to carry out. In that case, my deepest apologies to you all. Huh? Why are you apologizing? Regardless of the reason, the simple fact is that I served you food that was inferior. It's my fault for not sampling it beforehand. I'm sorry for causing you an unpleasant experience. Here's my final review. The ingredients and cooking methods were fairly standard. Nothing stood out. However, the manner in which you wholeheartedly threw yourself into the making of the dish was the true magical spell. Setting aside the imperfect flavor caused by the ingredients, you helped this dish leave a positive impression on me. Thank you so much for saying that. If you ever come back, I'll make sure to serve you a truly delicious rice. I'm looking forward to that. If you have too many ingredients to dispose of, we can assist. No, we'll handle it. I wouldn't want to trouble you any further. Wow, such hospitality. Ready? Let's be sure to come back here once this is all sorted out. Yeah, let's do that. It looks like the cafe will have to close temporarily. Once the situation with the ingredients is resolved, please be sure to visit us again. Take care, all of you. Well, we've made the rounds. At least the food at the outpost is safe now. Great work, everyone. Yeah, nicely done, you guys. I really could use some proper food. Hang in there. Things will get better soon. Alright. Oh, by the way, when the flavors go back to normal, we'll make sure to invite you to our kitchen. If it hadn't been for this little snafu, we would have prepared a full course meal instead of just a lunchbox. We feel bad we couldn't treat you to a proper feast like we wanted. Isn't that right, Bready? 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 Bready stares blankly at her hand. Bready? Are you talking to me? Bready, are you okay? You feel sick or something? Crust? Commander? I have something important to say. Huh? What is it? I really can't taste anything. What? Whenever I eat food that's been made using the compromised blendment, I can't taste a single thing. Maybe Emma's cooking made your taste buds blow a fuse? No, that's not it. It's not just taste. No information or emotions are coming through either. Uh-oh. I didn't say anything, but I felt like this ever since we went into that restaurant yesterday. None of the food you or Aid prepared had any flavor whatsoever to me. I thought you would have noticed. All of the feedback I gave was vague and oblique, and I didn't provide any concrete details regarding their ingredients or other information. I assumed you were just being vague because it didn't taste good. I had no idea. This is a really big deal. Yeah, that's definitely kind of a shocker. But anywho, that thing I mentioned about Aid, there's a special calendar event going on right now. At the time of recording this part, being Made in Bloom. Which, as part of this calendar, we're of course also getting these other resources here, but for the final day of the calendar, we're getting a special skin for Aid. And as far as I'm aware, this is the only skin, or more or less alternate outfit, that Aid has gotten, like, ever in the game. The outfit in question being made in spring.
Welcome, Master. What can I do for you? Would you like some dessert?
So yeah, I would say it's definitely an improvement over her regular maid outfit. As for the shooting pose, so you could definitely say that Aid got a buff but not so much a ability buff, but definitely a buff in terms of her attire. But that's not the only special skin available during the current event. The other one is the mission pass skin for Tia, being the sweet chef skin.
Where on earth did I
I put my reptile encyclopedia. I could eat sweets all day long.
But of course, being part of the past, you of course have to pay up money in order to get the skin. But thankfully with Aid's special skin, with the login event, everyone's getting that skin for free. Kind of akin to, the special skin that I got for Red Hood. Tell us more. Tell us more, Bready. My loss of taste only seems to happen with food made from compromised ingredients. Emma and Aid themselves had a flavor to them, which I was able to pick up no problem. And the food made using older ingredients was fine as well. Okay. That's good. So the issue isn't necessarily with you. Once the Splendidman issue is resolved, will everything go back to normal? Yes. But we don't know when that will happen. Haven't you been saying that it will be resolved soon? Sorry, that was a lie. I'm just parroting what the higher-ups told us to say. Nobody has any idea when things will improve. So we just have to stand around and wait? That's what they want, yes. But that would take too long. What do you mean? I can't go that long without a sense of taste. This might sound strange to you, but if I can't taste, and thus receive information, I'll end up collapsing in on myself. If I don't taste things continuously, my ability essentially backfires on me. I'm not sure I fully understand. It's hard to explain. I'm feeling a bit out of it, to be honest. It sounds like eating isn't a very enjoyable activity for you. I didn't expect you to say something like that. But you're right. Forcibly having to eat things and receive their information like some kind of robot. It's not exactly pleasant. So what should we do? We could head back to the kitchen and check if there are any older ingredients left. We used them all for the lunchbox we gave to the commander. Oh. Darn. Then we could go to the market and try to buy some slightly older ingredients. Although the restaurants have already started hoarding them, so I'm not sure how much will be left. Oh, or... Crust. Don't worry so much. I'll be fine. The worst thing is that I'll have to suffer for a few days. But... wouldn't it be better if you didn't have to suffer at all? My thoughts exactly, Mr. Gourmand. There's no need to suffer unnecessarily. Let's look for a solution. There must be a way. I have quite a few rations in my room. Would those work? Rations, processed food, instant food. They all taste the same to me and don't provide much information. I could last half a day on them, but no longer than that. I see. So it has to be proper food. Yes, my palate is rather demanding, unfortunately. I think I have two possible solutions. Two of them? What are they? The first is to solve the Splendidman issue ASAP, so proper food becomes available sooner. That's an interesting expression. That's easier said than done. The second is to find a substitute for Splendiman. A substitute for Splendiman, huh? Is that even possible? That's also next to impossible. However, one of the two, the second option might be worth trying. Huh? Really? We all know that there is no substitute for Splendiman at the moment. If there were, Splendiman wouldn't have been created in the first place. However, the important thing is that it makes for a convincing excuse to go out to the surface. We can see that we have to go up and search for a potential Splendiman substitute. If we go up to the surface under that pretense, you'll naturally have to taste test everything we come across as part of the search. And that would mean that Bready would get to explore and enjoy a whole bunch of flavors along the way. Exactly. Considering we have no way of knowing when the situation will correct itself, this is the best option we have available to us. Then let's get a move on to the surface. Off we go. The only thing is that if we do this, we'll need to produce tangible results. If we come back completely empty-handed, the commander's reputation would take a hit. I don't mind. You don't? My reputation is stellar enough that it won't falter from something like this. Wow. And who knows? We might actually find a substitute. Well, actually... Never mind. You're right. You're so cool, Mr. Gourmand. But why are you doing all this for someone you only met today? It's not a problem. As a commander, it's my duty to be here for you. I'm also worried about Bready as well. I told you, I'm fine. If that were true, Crust wouldn't be as concerned as she is. So, I'm worried about you too. I see. Bready, you okay? It's just... This is the first time I've met a commander like you. Alright then. I'd be honored if you'd come up to the surface with us.
Where are the raptures? Fire straight ahead. Together.
Yeah. Funny fact, I think this is the only time I have had a team that has two variants of the same character on it.
Moving on.
Okay, pardon me for a moment, and then I gotta take care of something real quick, but then when I get back, we'll see about continuing more stages. So, I'll be back in a moment.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Alrighty, and I'm back. So, let's go ahead and proceed where we left off with 1-7. And also, while I took a little pause off screen, I went ahead and did some math to see by chance how much credits and battle data and whatnot that I would need to get my 5 MLB NIKKEs to level 120. And based on Cinderella, for example, from where she's at level 190, to get her to level 200, it would require essentially about 4,743,000 credits.
Another victory for us.
And 58,000 or 58,836,000 credits, or battle data rather. So essentially rounding those numbers up for all 5 to get them all to level 200, I'm essentially going to need 24 million credits and 295 million battle data. So I'm getting closer to pretty much needing enough resources to actually get my entire roster to level 200, thus of course unlocking the next phase of the synchro device. But then of course after that, then I'm going to need more credits, battle data, and core dust, especially core dust. The next day, you're going to look for a Splendiman replacement? Where did you come up with that idea? Many people are having trouble because of the current issue we're having with Splendiman. I figured having additional food options other than Splendiman would be a good idea. All we've gotten is word that things haven't been resolved yet. We don't even know how things are progressing. It's quite frustrating. Did anyone from Cooking Oil mention anything? No. They're just as in the dark as we are. Really? That's strange. At any rate, I hope to hear good news from you soon. Alright. I head to the elevator with a heavy heart. Good morning, Mr. Command. Morning. Why do you have so much stuff? Oh, this is nothing. I just packed a few essentials. A camping stove, frying pan, pot, tongs, and other tools. Salt, pepper, chili powder, soy sauce, and other seasonings. And why are you bringing all that? So that when we find something tasty, we can cook it up straight away. That way, Bready can recover more quickly as well. This is starting to feel like a camping trip. How are you doing, by the way, Bready? Fine. Sometimes I space out, but I'm alright. For now. I see. Let's get going. Okie dokie. Alright. Upon arriving at the surface, we begin looking for anything edible nearby. Bready, what kind of food do you prefer? I'm not sure. It's hard to narrow it down. To put it simply, I like things that I find stimulating. You mean something like spicy foods? Not stimulating in that sense. I'm talking more about new flavors, ingredients, or textures. That's what I'm into. I'm sure there are plenty of things on the surface I haven't tried. True. That's why Commander. Ready, Mr. Command. I think I found something. Really? Ta-da! It's a plant I've never seen before. Neither have I. What do you think, Bready? Is it edible? Hold on. It's a taste I've never had before, but it feels similar to water celery. I'm detecting trace amounts of toxins, so you'll need to be careful when eating it. The seeds appear to have traveled here via wind. For such a hostile and foreign environment, these seeds are really thriving. Great! Looks like we found a winner. You think that can replace Splendiman? Huh? Oh, no. I meant we found something that Bready can eat. Don't forget that we're also up here to find Splendiman substitutes. Right. It won't be easy, but let's give it a shot.
Firing!
Also, before I forget to mention, at the time that I'm hopping back in from my brief little break, there was a announcement, aside from the upcoming 2.5 anniversary, There's also going to be pretty soon, in a matter of a couple days now, pretty much a continuation to this particular story, but based on Crust's perspective. And it's going to be true flavor. Essentially, it's going to be kind of a, in a way, it's going to be a part 2 to this event. Here, try this. This one won't work. But it does taste nice. What about this one? This won't work either. It's too difficult to cultivate. Dang, this sure is tough. What does something need to qualify as a replacement for Splendiman? First, it must be able to grow underground. It needs to contain sufficient nutrients. And for the sake of our own quality of life, it should taste decent. But most importantly, it has to be cheap to cultivate on a mass scale, at a lower cost than it does to manufacture Splendiman. Those are some stringent requirements. That's why I don't think we'll be finding a replacement anytime soon. I see. Still, let's keep looking. Let's go, Bready. Alright. Something about this seems fishy. Let's see. Now that we've found a place to stay for the night, let's get ourselves sorted. From all the specimens we gathered today, 2 can be eaten as is. 4 need to be treated in some fashion before they're edible. And 13 aren't inedible. All in all, not bad. Yeah, I thought so too. Uh-oh. Ooh, I'm starving. You must be famished too, Mr. Gourmand. Let me use what we've found to whip up something nice and tasty. Give me just a moment. Alright, thanks. Crust grabs the ingredients and culinary equipment, then heads elsewhere to start cooking. Brady's spacing out again. Brady, are you alright? Yeah, I think so. I tasted a lot of things today, so I don't feel too out of it. Glad to hear it. But something's still off, isn't it? Are you hungry? You haven't actually eaten any of the stuff we found. All you've done is lick them. Using the tip of my tongue gives me a better sense of the flavors. Texture, mouthfeel, and other sensations come later. Taste alone is enough to satisfy my appetite, so I'm fine. Fascinating. I must admit that it is a somewhat laborious process, though. Usually, I have to taste things every waking moment when I'm not asleep. These candies I carry are for times like this, when I'm unable to taste anything for long periods. Oh, okay. So it's not just an aesthetic thing. There's actually a purpose behind her having candies at pretty much immediate reach. Okay, so there's actual lore behind that. Because you see there's one here tucked underneath the apron skirt. And, well, of course, aside from the one she has in her hand. But candy that's been newly opened doesn't have a robust flavor into it at all. This ability of mine can be real pain. Yeah, that must be hard. Constantly having to force yourself to eat, even when it's not enjoyable. Commander, Food's ready. I've concocted one heck of a succulent meal for you. Go ahead and dig in, Mr. Gourmand. There's some for you too, Bready. Alright. Wow, thanks. In front of us is a spread of dishes that you wouldn't expect could be made with ingredients found on the surface. Nom. This flavor is unbelievable. Not bad. The differing flavors of all the ingredients blend together nicely. Top-notch cooking as always, Crust. Glad you like it. The portions are a bit small for my liking, though. It can't be helped. I can manage. We'll just have to try harder tomorrow. Yeah. Chomp chomp.
Engaging with enemy. Commander, stay behind me. I've got this.
And also to go back to the mention to the pretty much upcoming continuation for the event in archive, they're actually going to be adding old tales into the archive for people to experience. So those who missed out on Cinderella's origin story in the second anniversary, as long as they have one of the film reels, they can actually re-experience old tales that way. And the mini game, quote unquote mini game in the mirror, that will actually be added in a later update to the arcade, most likely because of the actual size of the quote-unquote minigame. And I mean, if you guys saw that separate video where I showcased some of the gameplay for In the Mirror, you definitely know that it's a big mini game, given that it's a Metroidvania. And then aside from that, more or less as kind of a taste for the upcoming anniversary, there's going to be a side story added, which is going to be titled Mudfish, which actually kind of delves in, which based on the snippet of information that we've gotten, is essentially going to be a kind of a preemptive teaser that's going to kind of delve into pretty much what happened to Siren after the events of Old Tales. We'll need to camp out tonight. Are you okay with that, Mr. Command? Of course, I'm used to it. Nice. I'll start preparing for dinner. If Bready seems unwell, be sure to let me know straight away. Alright, will do. Crust leaves to prepare our meal, a look of determination on her face. Well, she's spaced out again. Bready has been spacing out more and more over the past few days. I was happening more frequently. That's not good. Bready, are you feeling worse? Huh? I don't know. I thought I was fine, but I guess there's still something missing in the flavor. I'm sorry to put you and Crust through all this. You're going through much worse. There's hardly anything out here for you to taste. There's something I've always wanted to taste. To know what stories it holds. My greatest hope is that one day I will be able to get a taste of it. What is it? Two things, actually. The first is to experience taste as others do. No information, no story, no emotions. Oh, okay. She wants to actually experience how other people do it, and more, she wants to actually enjoy tasting and not having it be so much kind of a job sort of thing. Just pure flavor. And the second is me. Come again? What? I'm not sure I understand. What do I taste like? Okay, not gonna lie, that in tandem with the music is almost kind of like a, almost I would say like a self-cannibalism mentality, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to kind of take that. What's my story? What thoughts, memories, and feelings are stored within me? So, I guess she has sort of, so I guess more or less her memory is almost kind of a blur in a way? Like she almost has kind of a amnesia? Would tasting myself bring me happiness? Kind of hard to say. I want to taste it. Even if it's just one bite. A new flavor, a happy flavor. Bready slowly raises her hand and brings it towards her mouth. Is she willing to actually bite her hand? Bready, wait! Crust! Hearing my call, Crust drops everything and sprints over. Hey! Huh? Crust pulls out an old tattered wallet from seemingly out of nowhere. A wallet? And proceeds to hold it up to Bready's mouth. Why are you suddenly giving her a wallet? I had no choice. If Bready's condition worsens before we can find quality ingredients, this is the only option left. It's made of synthetic leather. It must have felt lonely. It's waited in the same spot for so long, hoping for its owner to return. It's been tattered and trampled by raptures, but it's endured all the same. Forever remaining in the same spot. It's a nice flavor. Bready, can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for the lovely meal. What in the world is going on? Do you remember when I told you Bready has incredible abilities? Yes. You said she can find out all there is to know about food. Exactly. And for me, anything that can be tasted can be considered food. So, does that mean if I can touch it with my tongue, I can taste it? That means I can taste just about anything. From water and regular food to dirt and inanimate objects. So all that stuff you said about the wallet just now was from tasting it? It's harder for me to deduce everything about objects. I can, however, figure out their structural components and delve into past memories which involve them. The memories come at random, but typically focus on the ones that are most vivid. This ability of yours really is unbelievable. This has to remain a secret. No one else can know. Why? There's too much potential for others to abuse Bready's ability. All she has to do is taste something, anything, and she'll be able to reveal everything about it. It's an ability that can and should be used for good. But many have tried to use me and my abilities with ill intentions. Uncovering weaknesses or digging up secrets through the memories imprinted on objects. Just thinking about it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You must keep this a secret. I beg of you. Please. I won't tell a soul. Thank you. This ability has made me know far more than I never want to. But I have to keep tasting things. It's situations like this where I can end up in danger of collapsing in on myself. I try to taste myself, tasting and chewing over my information, my thoughts, endlessly. So much so that I lose sight of who I am. I keep tasting until I have worn it all down to nothing. Sounds intense. I'm sorry to have dragged you into all of this. Don't be sorry. I'm honored that you feel you can trust me with this secret. You really feel that way? Well, at any rate, we don't have many other options. Our primary goal is to make sure Bready's condition improves. So, to that end, let's get searching for anything we can find that's been left behind. If that doesn't work, we've got plenty of trees and dirt around us. Yes, the surface is full of things to taste. And of course, we'll keep looking for anything that could be potentially splendid and substitute. Yeah, that's kind of a crazy thing to discover about Bready. That she effectively has to taste something pretty much constantly, otherwise she effectively loses her mind. Practically to the point to where she'll try to consume herself, if anything.
This battle's finished. Moving on.
Alright, 2 more stages and then we can blitz through hard mode. Here, try this. There's no flavor. I can't see this being turned into a decent dish. Then what about this? It's an interesting flavor, but it's not edible. Darn. Ooh, what about this? A mushroom. No kidding. Oh, and it's an enoki mushroom. Enoki mushroom. That kind is not familiar to me. It has a nice little aroma and pleasing texture. But I'm afraid mushrooms won't work. Why not? It's true that they don't require sunlight and can grow using organic matter. They're quite rich in nutrients as well. A supremely useful food. However, mushrooms are still mushrooms, so they won't work. What does that even mean? Splendid can replicate meat, fruits, and everything in between, including mushrooms. Whereas mushrooms can only be that, mushrooms. Still, considering how dire the situation is, wouldn't mushrooms be a decent alternative to Splendid? They'd be fine. They'd be easy to cultivate inside the Ark, could be mass-produced. Are tasty and packed full of nutrients. That's precisely why they can't work. Trust me, we've tried it before and failed. There are too many practical hurdles to make it work, or to making it work. We'd be better off trying to find something else. They would make for a great meal later though, so we should still take them with us. Right before we came to the surface, I started feeling something wasn't quite right. I think I'm starting to understand why. I know why you're saying mushrooms aren't a viable option. It's because they could cause people to stop relying on Splendid. Well, I think that's it. Splendid is the Ark's only food source. Bready has some incredible abilities when it comes to tasting. Like what exactly? Well, nothing too grand. It's just that when I eat something, I can immediately identify everything about it. What ingredients were used, what flavors it has, the nutritional information, and precisely how it was made. Things like that. That's incredible. You think so? Bready will eat rare dishes from the surface to analyze them, and I use that data to recreate the flavors in my cooking. That's one of our main undertakings at Cooking All. But most importantly, it has to be cheap to cultivate on a mass scale, at a lower cost than it does to manufacture Splendimin. Those are some stringent requirements. That's why I don't think we'll be finding a replacement anytime soon. First, there's Bready's ability. Then, there are things you've both said that indicate you know about Splendimin's production costs. You two must know all the secrets about Splendimin. You're right. That's why both Crust and I have safeguards installed on our brains. Really? Safeguards, huh? Okay, so what the heck do the safeguards have to do with the information about Splendimin? Maybe it will get explained in the next cutscene.
Preparing to reload.
Reload. I'm in the zone! Another victory for us! Thanks to me!
Alright, last stage. Did you say safeguards? Yes. Do you know what it is? I've heard of them. I've heard something similar regarding the protocol squad. It's probably the same thing. I see. Then there's no need for a lengthy explanation. Practically everything about Splendimin is veiled in secrecy. Really? Nothing about it can get out. That's why both of you have been insisting that an alternative to Splendimin is impossible. Yes, but we're also telling the truth. We've done plenty of our own investigating and research, and there's nothing that can fully replace Splendimin. Nor should there be. Eating is an integral part of human life. Nobody knows how Splendimin is made or what ingredients are used. If people were able to eat food from the surface instead, especially if it was cheap and available in large quantities, there would be all sorts of divisions in the Ark. At least, that's what those at the top fear would happen. Okay, I think I'm getting the picture. If it was to get out that there were alternatives to Splendimin, potentially cheaper options, then those up high, aka more than likely the central government, would pretty much get hit in their funding in a way, or more or less they'll get hit in their revenue. Thus, meaning if people aren't really purchasing Splendimin and using Splendimin, they don't get money from that, and thus they end up having problems pretty much lining their bank accounts. So yeah, I definitely think that greed has a factor in all this when it comes to the secrecy of Splendimin. I will ask you to tell me about Splendimin. You wouldn't tell me anyway. But I need to at least understand what's happening with these so-called compromised ingredients right now. You both know, don't you? Tell me what the hell is going on. I didn't expect you to be so blunt with your questioning. What's the point in us telling you anyway? What wouldn't change? It's not like there's anything you could do to change things. I want to be in this together with you. Oh. And before I can help you both, I need to know why this is happening. We don't know much either. There's been a problem in the Splendimin production process, and that's pretty much all we know. We also suspect that's why nothing has any flavor anymore. They've put safeguards in place to ensure I can't get to the bottom of it, through my abilities. Those scumbags. I know. However, when we were sent out to dispose of the Splendiman, we did hear something. Bready? It's alright, Crust. The main ingredients used to make Splendiman is something the Ark can source very cheaply. And a single unit of it can produce massive amounts of Splendiman. Really? That's why you're convinced nothing can replace it. Exactly. I didn't realize there was such an abundance of resources up on the surface. There's an abundance of resources, to be sure. Unfortunately, it's not on the surface. Really? Yeah. Anyway, the workers who make this stuff are all mass-produced NIKKEs who undergo a rigorous screening process beforehand. They eat, sleep, and work at the Splendiman factory. When we went to receive our orders after the incident, we heard one of the mass-produced NIKKEs had disappeared without a trace. Those in charge were probably maybe tying up loose ends. Maybe that mass-produced NIKKE tried to be more or less a whistleblower and try to rat out those in charge or something along those lines, and effectively said NIKKE was silenced. That's my theory as to what happened, and probably wouldn't surprise me given the shady stuff that's happened in the central government. That's all we know, and so that's why we can't. And so that's why we can tell you. And so that's all we can tell you. I see. But you may never uncover the truth. Sometimes having no answer is the answer. But surely you can't be pleased with how things are currently. It's that obvious, huh? Our squad's entire existence is based around creating and tasting food. Food is not something to be trifled with. And I don't think like the food in the Ark. It lacks a story. What do you mean? The flavors of food from the surface contain stories. A river behind a mountain evaporates and turns into rain. That rain breathes life into desiccated seeds that were dying before. The seeds travel and interact with various insects and other animals, taking nutrients and eventually bear fruit. Everything in the Ark, on the other hand, tells the same identical story. For someone like me who needs to experience different flavors, it's very trying. I've endured by delving into the stories of the chefs, imagining how exactly they prepare their ingredients. So, of course, I'm not happy with the situation where Splendiman is a staple. I see. Nothing's going to change anyway. Everything will return back to the way it always has been. Nevertheless, it still feels good to have confided in you. Thank you for listening to my story, Commander. Don't mention it. It must have been difficult for him to be so open, and I appreciate you telling me. I really am curious. I feel like that's hinting at the fact that she wants to tease the commander. Alright. I think I recognize this guy. Hakatus, I believe? I think I faced him a little while ago in one of the story chapters. Can't remember which one, but it wasn't too long ago that I faced him. So, did you find any ingredients that could serve as substitutes? No. And why not? We couldn't find anything suitable. And we never will. You seem quite certain about that. It went about as well as I expected. Thank you for your efforts. Deputy Chief Anderson, do you know anything about Splenderman? No, I don't. And frankly, I don't care. Why are you curious about it? Or why are you curious about it? So either yes I am or no I'm not. Here's the thing, what would be the correct choice? It's like, I could say yes, but then that could potentially get Bready and Crust in trouble. Or I say no. What happens if I say yes? Understandable. But even if you did know everything about it, it wouldn't change anything. Yes. We'll have to continue consuming Splenderman. That's right. Anyway, it's nearly time for my next meeting. You'll have to excuse me. Sure. Okay. I was kinda expecting bad news, not gonna lie. The instigating factor behind the incident has been identified as a malfunction in the machinery used for storing Splenderman. All affected Splenderman has been disposed of, and additional measures will be taken to ensure such incidents do not occur again. Finally. I know it was only a few days, but it felt like eons. I'm so glad things are back to normal. Let's go treat ourselves today. Great idea. What should we eat? Do you have anything in mind, Commander? Rappy, is that you? We're planning on going out to eat. Got any suggestions? You're heading out for food? Is the commander coming along? Yeah. Sorry, but you'll have to take a range check, Commander. Huh? Why? We received an invitation from Cooking Oil. The mailing address is from their private kitchen. It seems they want to serve you a private meal. Cooking Oil? Does that mean Crust is going to cook for you? Aw, man, I'm so jealous. I want to go. I want to go too. Me too. I want to join. They don't run any type of restaurant, so it's next to impossible to get a chance to taste their food. The invitation is addressed only to the commander. Oh, for crying out loud. Well, I guess there's nothing we can do. We'll have to go find something even tastier. Yeah. We'll all have a nice meal together next time. Absolutely. Enjoy your meal. I get ready and head to the address written in the invitation. La-di-da. Burble, burble, simmer the stew. Sizzle, sizzle, let's grill some meat. That must be the door. Oh, hi, Bready. Come and sit. It's almost ready. Okay. I hope Mr. Command likes it. Oh, he's here. Oh boy, I'm so nervous. More nervous than I was filming the first episode of my show. Come on, Crust. You can do this. Come on in. Upon hearing the boisterous voice booming from the kitchen, I am certain I found the right place. I press the door button. Welcome, Mr. Gaman, to the Cooking Oil Kitchen, where the air is filled with the aroma of delicious food. Hi, how you been? Fantastic, but that goes without saying. I'm so happy we could finally invite you to our kitchen. Here, have a seat. Thanks. Today I've prepared a proper multi-course meal for you. For the hors d'oeuvre, I think. I'm not sure because I'm unfamiliar with that French word. We'll be starting with shrimp canapes. Wow, so fancy. I appreciate it. Yes, thank you, Crust. Nom. What is this? What is this strange feeling? It's as if a light bulb has gone off in my brain. It's so delicious. I'm overwhelmed. Toasted bread, cheese, ham, hollandaise sauce, shrimp, and you were ecstatic when you made it due to thinking of the commander. The flavors imbued with an effervescent joy. I have to think of the word for a second. It's impressive that you can pick out all the individual ingredients. Just plenty more is still to come. For the next course we have... Ah, that was amazing. Thanks, Crust. No, thank you, Mr. Gourmand. It was wonderful to see you enjoying the food so much. So, is the whole Splendid incident over and done with? Yeah. Everything's back to normal. There's nothing more to uncover. And the affected restaurants and stores are being compensated. The complaints have died down, and people are commending the government's response to the whole affair. I have to admit it doesn't really sit well with me. Still, I'm at least glad that Bready can taste again. Thank you for saying that. Oh, pardon me a second here. Okay, sorry about that. OBS started glitching on me. Anywho, Commander, I have a request. What is it? Hold on, Bready. You're not actually going to... Yes. I want to tease you, Commander. Yeah, this was kind of, this was kind of like a little, teaser when it came in terms of, Bready's, more or less, posts about Bready on the, NIKKE Twitter account. They kind of made mention of that, of the fact that she wants to taste the Commander. It was kind of made mention there, and I want to say it's also made mention of in her description, but I could be wrong. Come again? Humans are inherently fragile beings, yet they carry an abundance of memories, emotions, and experiences. At first, my curiosity was minor, but as time passed, it became more intense. What would the Commander taste like? Bready, you said you dislike tasting humans. I do. Most of them either taste terrible or barely have any flavor, but I think the Commander will be different. I think he'll have a new flavor. Commander, will you let me? Sure. I extend my hand out to Bready. It's not like you're gonna take a bite out of me. She's simply going to lap me with her tongue, so it's no big deal. Very well. Thank you so much. Yeah. There, you can see that she has hearts in her pupils. And there it is. So yeah, if we complete all the missions, which we'll do once we complete hard mode, I believe. Once we pretty much complete the event, we get this as a lobby background. What is that? Yeah. Definitely, definitely can be suggestive in a way. Bready, what are you doing? It's strange. So strange. It's most unusual, Crust. What is? I can't sense anything. Emotions, information, his backstory, nothing. So what, we a blank slate? All I'm picking up is sweetness. What? Really? Yes. I'm simply getting the taste and nothing more. My mind doesn't feel overwhelmed. It's not so strangely exotic or stimulating flavor, but I can actually taste it. Unbelievable. At long last, I finally found it. The taste I've been searching for all my life. One beautiful beyond all comprehension. Pure and untainted by information. It's divine. Bambouche. Remember what I told you before? That's a word where you describe a taste that surpasses all others. If that's the case, from today on, I'll refer to the commander as such. This is the most heavenly taste I've ever experienced, so it's only appropriate. I'm not sure how I feel about being called Bambouche. Crust, is there any way we could incorporate Bambouche into some dishes? What? What are you saying? Surely there must be a way. What if we used a few strands of hair? You're telling me you want to cook with hair? Would his hands and face taste different than the fingers? What about other parts of the body? It'd all be so delicious. I'm starting to get a little scared. I've never seen Bready like this before. Bambouche, please. Could you let me taste you again from time to time? Please, just a lick or two like this. Well, my goodness, I haven't even thanked you properly yet. My greatest thanks to you for letting me experience your pure sensation taste for the first time. Or experience the pure sensation taste for the first time. You're welcome, I guess. Would it be alright if I kept one of your fingers in my mouth for the entire day? Absolutely not. Bready, get a hold of yourself. I've never tasted anything like this before. Something that brings me so much happiness. It's absolutely incredible. So that pretty much explains, that kind of explains what's going on in the, well, that may be kind of a teaser for essentially the continuation of the event, but we're gonna go through the hard mode stages.
Oh, you're dead meat!
And we'll see by chance what the bonus cutscene entails.
You just wait and see. Target clear.
But yeah, given that animated background that we're going to be getting, definitely a very suggestive one. Though when it comes to
Oh, that was easy.
racy / suggestive like animations, I'd say aside from Naked Crown, definitely one that comes close is the character that came out before Bready, being Trina. Because with her burst animation, since I don't really have the character to showcase it, Trina effectively goes up to hug a tree, and then afterwards she actually strips her clothes, but then of course what's shown is a bright light behind her and she more or less looks like a silhouette.
As long as we're together, I will never fall.
So essentially essentially as part of Trina's character, she wants to really become one with nature. So she frequently strips. And yeah, needless to say, her burst animation, that it would be something that would effectively make Sanji nosebleed to near death. A lot like what happened to him in Fishman Island. Matter of fact, I can at least talk about what happened with that previous event. More or less, pretty much the two main NIKKEs that were kind of front and center with that event were Trina herself and Leader. And kind of a unique connection that the two shared is they each had a human friend in the past. And each of them kind of met a more or less tragic fate and essentially were gone too soon in a way. For Trina's friend, she effectively died from an illness, and her ashes were pretty much spread at the base of a tree in the more or less in the section of the garden in the Ark that Trina looks after. So as part of that event, so that no one could essentially go near this soccer tree, she effectively wanted to essentially have it close to the public so no one could essentially in a way tread on sacred ground in a way, if I had to describe it. And as for Leader, she had a male human friend who at one point was pretty much killed by accident in the midst of a battlefield. But prior to him passing, she gave him this or he gave her a pocket watch that he had as like more as like a token of their friendship. But more or less, after kind of talking to each other about essentially their loss, Trina and Leader kind of bonded in a way and actually became really good friends. And pretty much at the end of the event, there's actually a cutscene where, well, after the area that Trina looks after, it becomes open to the public. There's a cutscene that shows that Trina and Leader are pretty much resting at the next to the trunk of a tree, but Leader is effectively curled up, sleeping with her head on Trina's lap. It's a really cute image.
I can do this with my eyes closed!
And if anything, I could either put up a screenshot of that moment on screen, or if anything, there's a couple other channels on YouTube that have played through the Forest event and actually recorded it, unlike me. So you can always watch it through them.
Target clear.
So yeah, it's an event that definitely had a definitely sad backstories for Leader and Trina, but in the end, it definitely ended on a happy note, which is nice. And speaking of stories, with that side story that's being added in the next update, it's essentially supposedly based on the snippet information. Siren falls into the ocean And then she washes up on a beach and is discovered by a little girl. So that's pretty much all we know thus far. So if anything, hopefully that hopefully that side story will be voiced, and maybe it will actually delve into pretty much what became a siren after the events of Old Tales. And who knows, maybe it'll actually maybe we'll find out more info about potentially what happened with Hansel and Gretel, because as far as I'm aware, there's not been any mention or anything, to my knowledge anyway, of where Hansel and Gretel ended up after the Queen attacked the lift.
Well, that was easy.
Watch over me.
So time will tell on that front as to what's going to be revealed in that side story. And speaking of side stories, there is technically one I can showcase / go through, being a second affection. Because technically I should go through that so that way I can actually get some context as to what potentially happened with Marion after she after essentially we parted ways with her. And I believe Second Affection takes place before Last Kingdom, which was the 1.5 year anniversary. Oh, sorry about that. OBS was glitching again. I hate when it randomly does that. There we go. Done and done.
I could do this with my eyes closed!
Definitely wasn't as bad as my hard mode experience with the Ava collab, because I wasn't able to actually finish it with the same team. Come in. Oh, it's Bready. Hi. Hi, Bomush. You're a half hour early. You kept saying you had other plans the past few times, so it's been a while since we last saw each other. That's why I couldn't help myself. That's why I couldn't help myself and came early. Are you all set? Yeah. It's not like I had to do much to prepare. All I had to do was wash my hands. Remember how I told you there was something I wanted to experiment with? Or, you remember how I told you there was something I wanted to experiment with? This might feel a bit unpleasant, but could you spread this whipped cream on your hand? What in the world for? The first time I tasted you... Yeah, take that line out of context. The predominant flavor profile was sweet. But last time, your fingers had a slightly salty taste to them. That's probably because we were outside. Well, with dust and sweat and all. Perhaps. Still, a little experimenting couldn't hurt. I take the container of whipped cream and spread it onto my hand, rubbing it around. Feels a bit like soap. That should do it. Alright, I'm going in. Such sweetness, incredibly sweet. Especially the parts of your hand where there's just a tinge of the whipped cream. Those are the best parts. can't sense anything except the taste. It's so fascinating. Could I lick just a little more? I'd rather end it here, thanks. Very well. Next time I'll bring some salt. If I soak your hand in salt water, I assume it'd be saltier. Or maybe rubbing it with some fruit would make it taste like that fruit. Will the same thing work with vegetables too? Bready, please, calm yourself. This is the first time I've experienced the pure sensation of taste ever since I became a NIKKE. How can you expect me to be calm? Fair point, but I'm going to enjoy tasting you in the future. Bonebush. Let's meet often. New flavor end. Uh-oh. No. The flavor is much too ordinary. Let's try it again. I've got to create a flavor that makes Bready happy. That's been my goal from the very beginning. Aha! So that's what leads to the pretty much story 2 in a way, being true flavor. Okay, that explains things. Not gonna lie, seeing the bread in the oven here for the level banners pretty much reminds me of Subway. There we go.
Another victory for us, thanks to me.
Okay, so now we can go here, claim these. That gives us the film reel. And we get that lobby background, like I mentioned, and some more points. And now we can go ahead and get the goodies. We'll go ahead and get this. Get our 10 advanced recruit vouchers. Our 10 ordinary recruit vouchers. And then we'll also get these. So I can provide more boosts to my team. Yeah. Since I do have original Ray and Asuka, I can actually make use of the boost from the abnormal part of the recycling center. And then of course we'll get all these. What else could I snag? Yeah, why not? We'll get those. Could always use more battle data. And we'll get a bundle of those. Alright, that used all the points for now. And you know what? Since I do have those advanced recruit vouchers, I do have 5 others. I think I'll go ahead and do at least a multi, just to see if I can potentially get Bready. And that'd be no. I mean, I could use the other 5, and that won't exactly build up enough mileage to... It wouldn't exactly build enough mileage to potentially get Bready from the shop. But hey, if I was to get her off a single, that wouldn't be too bad, and it would save me mileage. I mean, I could always use my gems, but I do also want to save up my gems for the for the upcoming anniversary. Besides, she's going to be added to ordinary recruit after everything is done, eventually anyway. So if I do want to add her to my roster, I can always change up my wish list to potentially get her that way. Because right now I have just a little over 21k. So as far as we know, the upcoming anniversary banner is going to be potentially Siren. So given that she's going to be that 1%, I could potentially save my gems for her banner specifically, and then that would at least give me pretty much at this moment 70 pulls worth towards her banner. And then aside from that, if I'm getting enough mileage, so if I get 37 more points or 37 more mileage tickets, I'll then have enough mileage to actually do at least one exchange in the mileage shop, which I could then use to potentially get Siren, as long as she is the rank up NIKKE for the upcoming 2.5 anniversary. But that's kind of going to hinge on that. But when it comes to Bready herself, I don't know, because as much as I would like to have her in the roster, her and Crust, aside from the fact that each of them respectively is niche, there's the fact that their toolkits kind of have it to where they're better off when paired with each other, so that kind of does make them niche in that sense as well. So I'll probably hold off on potentially trying to recruit them and just more or less save my gems and my regular vouchers and whatnot for later. Matter of fact, how many do I have currently now? I have 73. Okay, so I'll potentially say I think I'll just keep building up my stash of those and gems, of course. And if anything, I'll just use the advanced recruit vouchers on potentially Crust's banner when her banner and her event drops, do the event of course to get those. And then aside from that, then I'll keep doing content, doing the campaign of course, which is probably what we're going to do next. And after of course completing more of the campaign, then I'll of course use up all the gems that I get in that time to pretty much put towards potentially getting Siren from her banner if she is the re-up character for the anniversary, and hopefully I can get her in very minimal pulls, or if anything, I'll build on mileage and then I can use that mileage to get her from the mileage shop. But that will be a to be determined sort of thing at the time of the recording this segment. So with that, we're pretty much going to call it here for now. And when we return to NIKKE, we're going to see about hopping back into the campaign, because we need to find out what became of us, Rappy, Anise, and Neon. And potentially we need to see about getting payback against that bitch Crow, and potentially also Viper and Jackal. But in my opinion, I think Viper and Jackal could be pretty much redeemed in a way, or more or less they can redeem themselves in a way, unlike Crow. But we'll just worry about that stuff later. So with all that said, I hope you all enjoyed the new flavor event. And if you did, hey, how about hitting that like button to let me know if you liked the video, and maybe I don't know, maybe potentially subscribe and stay tuned for more NIKKE in the future, and of course anything else I upload to the channel. And with that, I will see you all next time. So I hope you all have a fantastic day, take care, and I'll see you with more NIKKE.